Okay, so have you ever, like, thought you were, you know, pretty smart?
Hmm.
Like, you've got all this life experience and knowledge,
Yeah.
but then you get totally stumped by something a 10-year-old figures out in a snap.
Uh-huh. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, so today we're diving deep into that. Like,
Yeah.
are we really smarter than a 10-year-old?
Okay, I don't like it.
Right. I mean, we're going to be looking at, like, what adults are good at, what kids excel at, and what we can learn from them. We've got some really cool research from the OECD's survey of adult skills to help us out here.
Oh, that's a really interesting source. So this survey looks at problem solving, and critical thinking skills in grown-ups all across the world. And the findings are, well, they're pretty surprising.
Spell it.
Yeah.
What do they find? Like, are we all secretly dummies compared to these 10-year-old masterminds?
Well, I wouldn't say dummies exactly, but there's this one area that really stood out in the survey.
Oh, okay. I'm on the edge of my seat here.
Pattern recognition.
Pattern recognition.
Yeah. So they gave adults all these complex patterns, right? Like picture a line of shapes or a sequence of numbers, and they were asked to predict what comes next.
Oh, sounds straightforward enough.
Well, a surprisingly big chunk of the grown-ups struggled with it.
Really? That's wild. I mean, we use pattern recognition all the time, right? Like recognizing faces, figuring out traffic patterns, even just predicting what's going to happen next in a movie.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Adults tend to get stuck in routines and rely on patterns they already know. They overthink it. Kids, on the other hand, they're constantly experimenting, playing with different combinations. They don't have those preconceived notions holding them back. Their thinking is just so much more flexible.
Okay, so it's like they're coming at it with a fresh perspective, not bogged down by like all the rules we think we know.
Right.
But how does this translate to real life situations, beyond just puzzles and stuff?
Okay. Imagine you're trying to fix I don't know, a printer jam at work.
Like that.
Right. An adult might go through like the troubleshooting manual step by step, trying all the usual fixes.
Yeah.
But a 10-year-old, they might just like press a bunch of random buttons or like wiggle a cable just so, and boom, it starts working.
Hmm.
It's their willingness to experiment, to think outside the box that often leads to those aha moments.
I'm starting to get it. Like, it's not about raw intelligence. It's about approaching problems with a different mindset.
Exactly.
I actually had this experience once. My laptop froze up completely. I spent like an hour trying to reboot it. I was freaking out. Then my niece, she was like 8 at the time, walks over, looks at it for a second, and just presses a few keys.
No way.
Like a combination I would never have even considered.
Yeah.
And the thing just sprang back to life. I'm like, how did you do that? And she just shrugged like it was nothing.
That is amazing. It's not like she knew more about computers than you, right? It's that she was willing to try something totally different. Kids aren't afraid to be wrong, to experiment.
Okay, that's such a good point. So for everyone listening, what's the takeaway here? Should we all just like recruit 10-year-olds to help us with all our problems?
Well, while that would be pretty fun, the real lesson is about cognitive flexibility. We can all learn to be more like kids in that way, more curious, more willing to question what we think we know.
Right, right.
It's about having a growth mindset, always learning, not being scared to try new things, even if they seem a little, well, unconventional.
Makes you wonder if maybe we lose a bit of that spark as we get older.
Maybe we do.
But it sounds like, it's not totally gone. We can still like retrain our brains to be more adaptable, more open.
Absolutely.
So what can our listeners do, like right now, to tap into that more childlike way of thinking?
Well, next time you're stuck on a problem, right?
Yeah.
Try this. Ask yourself, what would a 10-year-old do? I know it sounds silly, but it can actually help you break free from like your usual thought patterns and come up with something truly innovative. And don't dismiss an idea just because it seems a little out there. Sometimes the most creative solutions are the ones that come from the most unexpected places.
So embrace the inner 10-year-old.
Exactly.
Got it. I think I can handle that.
Good.
Well, on that note, we're going to wrap things up here. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. And until next time, stay curious.
And keep those minds flexible.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye.